Hello everybody! Today I have a special haul video for you guys. I recently went to Retropalooza in Pasadena, Texas this past weekend. I had a grand old time. So I went there, didn't really expect to find anything, just anything that caught my attention. So I actually have a small little haul here. I wanted to show it off to you guys. So first off I have here is Shenmue on the Dreamcast. This is a really good condition case. The only issue I have is that obviously the paper sticker and the little crack here on the case, sometimes this end actually comes out loose. So here you go, I have the passport, disc 3, disc 2, and disc 1. So this is the regular version, not the limited edition one. The limited edition one actually came with the soundtrack. So if you don't know much about Shenmue, this was actually one of the last big games that came out for the Dreamcast by Sega. And it was at the time where the PS2 just came out and the PS2 was kicking the Dreamcast's ass. And this is before the Dreamcast discontinued. So this was essentially their killer app for the year 2000. And here it is, Shenmue on the Dreamcast. Got it in a really good deal. The vendor was really cool. He gave me it in a great price. So here it is, Shenmue on the Dreamcast. Speaking of the PlayStation 2, I have here one of the launch titles of the PlayStation 2. SSX1. This is the greatest hits version from EA, and it's in great condition. Gave me in a really good deal. Really awesome, sweet stuff. Let's open inside. Here's the disc, and here is the manual. Didn't expect this, so this is actually cool. So this was one of the first PS2 games to come out in October of 2000. I just love snowboarding games. Actually, funny story, I was trying to look for SSX Tricky as well, but I could not find it, so I was only able to get the first SSX game. Really fun game. If you ever played a snowboarding game, this is the one to play. SSX on the PlayStation 2. Speaking of extreme, I have another extreme game for the PlayStation 2, Rocket Power Beach Bandits. So, growing up as a kid, I loved Rocket Power as a kid, man. This was my show, man. This, along with Tony Hawk and SSX, man. Extreme sports were huge in the 2000s, early 2000s. I actually had the GameCube version, but I couldn't find it. Maybe if I find it deeper in my little room or something like that, I'll probably find it. But Rocket Power Beach Bandits, really fun game. Really good game from THQ on the PS2. Excellent condition, and I got it in a sweet deal. And here's another title, this time on the GameCube, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. So, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy game is actually more like a fighting game. So, you see, this disc is a little bit scratched. I did test this game, like I said earlier. Came out really good, still works excellent. So, little issue, no printed, it's all printed out and stuff. But it's actually a really fun game. So, the best way I can describe it is, it's the Power Stone, but with Billy and Mandy. That's the best way I can describe it. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy on GameCube. Got in a very sweet deal, actually. The vendor was really nice enough. He gave it to me in a awesome, sweet deal, like under $5. So, pretty good game. Billy and Mandy on the GameCube. Next up, it is another PS2 title, and I've been noticing a trend here, a lot of cartoon-based games. So here it is with Rugrats Royal Ransom on the PlayStation 2. Actually got it in a sweet deal thanks to the vendor. The deal was really cool. Originally gonna be like 10 bucks or something, but he lowered it down to like 7, 8 bucks. Really good condition. I actually enjoyed this game. I played it a little bit just to test it out. I kind of got a little bit hooked on it. So it reminds me a lot of like those platformers like during the 90s, like the N64 Rareware games like Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, Super Mario 64 in a way. Kind of reminds me a lot of that. It's a really nice game. You know, I actually was a big fan of Rugrats Search for Reptar on the PS1. I remember playing that, and then I thought this would be similar to it, but it's actually slightly better. So Rugrats Royal Ransom on the PlayStation 2. Next up, it is a Xbox 360 title. The only one I got, it is WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. So in my previous haul video from Retropalooza 2 years ago, I got SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 and 2011 on the 360. And I was trying to look for SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, and I couldn't find it until this year. I did find it, and this was actually a super last minute like purchase. So the vendor wanted $25 out of it, and I said I would get it, you know, I don't know about that price. And the vendor said, well, what price would you do? And I was reasonable. I said like, I don't know, 15, 20, and settled on 15, and I ended up getting it. Really good condition. Opening the case, here's the disc, and here is the booklet with the manual. Really like it. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. And for you trophy and achievement hunters out there, luckily this doesn't need to be online, so you can just get all the trophies offline, and you can get that platinum. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 on the Xbox 360. And speaking of WWE, I noticed a lot in Retropalooza, there was a lot more of like toys and Funkos and like artwork and cards and stuff. So I actually was able to get a couple of WWE Elite figures. So this is Hunter Hearst Helmsley, which is the Network Spotlight Edition. The only issue I have with this figure, it's unfortunately the ponytail fell off or broke off, unfortunately. And this is the second figure I have of this specific one, and it's the same issue. Other than that, it's a really nice figure. You know, the ball joints, you know, all the joints are really good, nothing looseness. It's really nice. And this is the WWE Network Spotlight Triple H, also known as Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And this is the Stone Cold Steve Austin, another WWE Elite figure. It's a really nice figure as well. Luckily, the vendor, he saw, you know, the broken ponytail, and he gave me a sweet deal for these two figures. So I got them for like under 10 bucks. So two for 10, under $10, basically like 7 bucks specifically, I believe. And they're really nice. And I did some research with this Stone Cold Steve Austin figure. It turns out this is the defining moments, if I look at it correctly, it's the defining moments Stone Cold Steve Austin figure that came with his vest and the smoking skull, the winged eagle, and the big eagle championship belts. So pretty cool deal, these two figures. And Triple H fell down, so these two figures were captured at Retropalooza. I don't know if that's the way you say captured, but that's pretty much how I think of it. And Triple H is gonna fall again, and he did. So here it is, guys, my entire haul from Retropalooza Houston. I had a grand old time. You know, it's always really cool to go back to Retropalooza, you know, take a look at all the retro stuff and all that. So my overall thoughts on it, well, I kind of was expecting more, to be honest. I was actually looking for like more like posters, promo stuff, etc. But I feel like it was less about like the games and stuff and more like collectibles, you know? There was a lot of Funko Pops, there was a lot of Pokemon cards, which makes sense because there was a big Pokemon field this year. A lot of guests from the Pokemon anime, you know, voice actors and all that stuff. But overall, I had a grand old time. If you went to Retropalooza, what did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? Was there anything you were looking for? Were there any of these games that you were probably interested in? If so, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and take care, you guys.